magnificently.
Western Heat is brought from Las Vegas by Chris Trickle. The youngster from the great racing family had things going his way 2 weeks ago. Then all of a sudden, out of turn number 2, the back end came around, and Trickle had suffered another disappointment in the NASCAR Winston Challenge Series.
Chris Trickle has been on an emotional roller coaster in Winter Heat. Last year, he did win a race. 2 weeks ago, he probably should have won a race. But you have had disappointment in this series, Chris, as well as a victory. You start 11th today. How do you feel?
You know, Bill, I feel pretty good. Star Nursery Chevrolet's working pretty good today. It's real consistent. I don't think we qualified as fast as some of these other guys, but we're going to make a good race out of this before it's over.
He's got our in-car camera. He'll start 11th here in Tucson.
Heat from the Northwest comes in the form of Mark Grosskreutz, who has reason to smile. The Spokane, Washington driver bumped and banged his way to a second-place finish 2 weeks ago and is very definitely a contender for the overall championship, which will be decided here January 12th.
Mark, you start 5th. You're second in points right now, chasing Carl Trimmer. Obviously, a great chance for you to win this championship.
Yeah, we're just going to try to run for the points. There's a lot of guys starting around here that are ways back in the points, so just got to keep that yellow car in sight and be around at the end.
Mark Grosskreutz starts 5th.
Also from the Northwest, Tacoma, Washington, comes the series defending champion, Greg Biffle. He had problems 2 weeks ago, but now has a new car and hopes to make some headway today and join the battle for the title.
Well, Greg, 15th 2 weeks ago, but first on the grid today on the pole. If you're going to defend this Winston Challenge Championship, you've got quite a race to drive today.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to just conserve tires first half, give them a little bit of a run for their money second half. Carl Trimmer is going to be strong today, and all we can hope for is a first-place finish. I guess that's as good as we can get, and just hope Carl doesn't finish up there as high as I do.
Greg Biffle on the pole in a brand-new car, 28 starters, ready to roll here at Tucson Raceway Park.
Biffle is not in the top 10 in points as we enter this second race. Trimmer has a 10-point lead. There are 2 drivers in the top 10 who did not make today's race. The 4th in the points, Jim Waters and John Kinder. So those drivers will drop out of the top 10 after today's second race. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins. This is the second race of the NASCAR Winston Challenge Series, the final race on January 12th. At that time, a big load of money will be distributed, $15,000 as a matter of fact, with $5,000 going to the overall champion. And to these guys, that's a lot of money. Anything else, Benny?
Yeah, one more thing. Folks, it's the season. I got my hat. I got my tie. Merry Christmas, everybody, and you too, Bob.
I got one of these hats, too. Happy holidays, everyone. Now, let's get this thing started.
On your feet, Tucson Raceway Park, Chrissy Armin. Gentlemen, start your engines.
ESPN2's Winter Heat welcomes you live once again for Race 2 of the Winston Challenge from Tucson Raceway Park in Arizona. It's another beautiful day here in the desert. Temperature around 61 degrees. You can see the sun shining, not a cloud in the sky, and we have a gentle northeast breeze from about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Let's pick up on another story down on the grid with Bill Weber.
Well, Bob, we've talked about 3 of the guys in the top 5. Greg Biffle, Carl Trimmer, and Mark Grosskreutz. 2 other guys starting in the top 5. Terry Henry starts 2nd, and Sean Monroe starts 3rd. Now, you might remember the story that unfolded here 2 weeks ago. It was Monroe and Henry going at it door to door. Now, remember, Henry is actually Monroe's crew chief. Sean hit him and put him out of the race. It was actually not really a payback, but the reverse thing happened 2 years ago at Las Vegas. where Henry put Monroe out of the race, but he wasn't his crew chief at that time. They've talked about it today. They're looking forward to racing door-to-door for 150 laps. Back up top.
Let's take a look at the qualifying procedure. The top 22 fastest qualifiers automatically made this event, with positions 23 through 26 coming from a consolation race, and then 2 provisional starters, those that had accumulated enough points but did not get in any other way in the Tucson Raceway final point standings. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's race. There you can see Greg Biffle is on the pole with Terry Henry second, then Sean Monroe, Carl Trimmer, Mark Grosskreitz, John Sewell, Tom Sweatman, Sean Woodside, Dennis Fetter, Paul Banghart, Chris Trickle, and Charles Utz.
13th is Tony Izzo, John Baker, and John Borneman, the third. And there we see Bruce Newport, Rodman, Ray, Garrett, Vernon, Hudson. There's the winners of the consolation race. Poop, Rhodes, Obrist was third, and McGran fourth. And the Tucson Provisional, Jeff Hibner, and Ivan Russell.
And the race procedures here this afternoon, as they are in all of our winter heat events. We have 150 laps of competition run as 2 75-lap segments. There will be a break in the middle in which the crews can work on the cars and change a maximum of 2 tires. And the yellows do count here this afternoon, but the race cannot end under a caution. And there is the onboard camera from Chris Trickle.
And we showed you what happened 2 weeks ago with Chris Trickle. What, 12, 13 laps to go. Coming off this corner, turn 2, spun.
I thought he had that thing won. I think he thought he had it won, but it didn't work out that way. Field comes off of corner number 4. Greg Biffle has a car length advantage as they hit the line, and we're underway with the first 75-lap portion.
Izzo in 3, awfully low, and look already, Terry Henry trying to take the lead away from Biffle.
But Biffle has the advantage at the line by just about a fender.
Great racing side by side. And folks, the Biffle car, the 16, is a Ford. I saw that and asked, and look at Trimmer trying to go to the inside of Henry.
There's the old experienced veteran here at Tucson showing the way around. He's trying to take second place from Henry, and he does it. Now he sets his sights on the leader, Greg Biffle.
I asked Biffle what he was doing with a Ford because last year it was a Chevrolet, a General Motors product. He said the first Ford I've ever had, but he's just trying something different.
Running in 4th position is the white number 48, driven by Sean Monroe, and Mark Grosskreitz in the red number 72 is 5th. In comes John.
Oh, we got a spin. The 81 car, John Borneman, I think, has spun off turn 4, but no caution. He gets the car right in, continues on.
Borneman trying to catch up with the rest of the field as Biffle leads him down once again, and Biffle has stretched out the advantage to about 6 or 8 car lengths as the battle is from 3rd on back.
Well, the 33 car is Terry Henry, and the white car is Sean Monroe, the crew chief and the driver. There we see Borneman in 81 goes and tries to get on the inside of Izzo, and there's no bank on the bottom of the racetrack, only 6 degrees in the bottom groove, and around he goes. This racetrack is multi-bank, 6 degrees on the bottom, 9 degrees in the middle, and 12 degrees on top. That's why we see most of the cars running the high groove where there's more bank.
3rd, 4th, and 5th right there, and 6th. That's Terry Henry in the black 33 being pursued by Sean Monroe, Mark Grosskreitz, John Sewell, and then Tom Sweatman in car number 11, the orange car, running at the back of that line. He's the driver that sat on the pole for our first Winston Challenge event. Now Grosskreitz trying to take the position away from Sean Monroe as they come down the front stretch. Grosskreitz on the bottom and Monroe up top. And Grosskreitz, I thought he was going to get it, but Monroe battles back.
And we can see just how much bank it helps the cars as Grosskreitz gets loose up in turn 4. Monroe will retain the spot. The 99 car, the DuPont-looking car, John Sewell's, is a car that Greg Biffle built and sent down for Sewell to race here at Tucson Raceway Park. Sewell is a a regular here at this racetrack, along with Carl Trimmer. And the orange car at the back, number 11, is Tom Switman, as Bob told you. The pole sitter last week from up in Washington. Cosmopolis,
yep.
Barely got that one out.
Everybody pretty much in single file formation here at the front of the field. Biffle out to a huge lead as we watch this battle for the 4th position. So it's Greg Biffle at the front of the field with Carl Trimmer, Terry Henry, Sean Monroe, and Mark Grosskreutz in the top 5. We'll be right back. Underway with 22 laps out of the first 75 completed. There's your leader, Carl Trimmer. Why is he in the lead? Well, because Greg Biffle, as we take a look from our speed shot underneath the flag stand, was running by himself. I guess he was coming up on a car. In any case, it got out from under him. He spun and almost went a lap down, although he did stay on the lead lap.
That is unbelievable. It looks like he was trying to put a lap on John Borneman, the 81 car, and when he turned under and cut off turn 4, spun, leading the race, similar to what Chris Trickle did last week, 2 weeks ago.
Biffle has dropped back to 22nd position, and here we have a huge group of cars racing together. Among those, we're showing you Jeff Hibner in the 27. Tony Izzo, I believe, is involved in this race, and they are really going for position.
That red and white car, 66, is Charles Utz.
Kevin Vernon there in the blue and white, number 51.
Oh, and McGrann spin. Well, he saved it. How did he do that?
Wow.
He saved it.
Meanwhile, here comes Biffle up right behind McGrann as Biffle tries to move up through the field once again. Here he is going to the inside now of the 56 of Scott McGrann.
Watch this as he comes off the corner. Makes some contact with Hibner. He tries to turn under him. How in the world did he save it? A 95 car of Jimmy Hudson was forcing. He wasn't involved in a crash.
Yeah, maybe that's what caused him not to spin, because he rebounded off that car and got things straightened out again. So the 56 of Scott McGrann is running in the 21st position. There's Charles Utz right ahead of him in the 66.
And Biffle was just able to get by those fellas. There we saw Biffle in the black car just go. There he is going down to turn 1 on the inside of the 27 of Hibner. And Jimmy Hudson, the 95, directly in front. As we told you, I guess that Bill Weber told you at the very beginning of the race, the 16 car is a brand new race car. He just finished it Thursday and jumped in the truck and hauled the car from Washington, Vancouver, Washington to here. And so he doesn't have any experience with this car, and it's hard to say how the chassis is going to be. I'm sure he'll be eager to get to that break and make some adjustments on that 16 car.
As you take a look at a field summary, he told us that on Wednesday of this past week, there was no skin on the car. It's all been put together since Wednesday, so a lot of work has gone into that car, but it paid off for him.
And Chris Trickle has blown an engine and may stall on the racetrack.
He's near the entrance to the pit area, and yeah, he is going to make it.
Oh, the right front tire is flat.
Yeah, it sure is.
And it's not rolling. Tough break for Trickle.
So 2 of our favorites have experienced trouble here in the early going. Chris Trickle and Greg Biffle both in trouble as Carl Trimmer continues to lap cars. He's put a lap on the 66 of Utz.
And right now, Terry Henry, the 33 that we saw earlier, is in second place. There we saw the black car, the black 33, just behind Mike Oberston, 54.
Here he comes up to lap Scott McGrann. McGrann is running 19, so there are 20 cars now on the lead lap, and Trimmer trying to make it 19.
Oh, and Jeff Hibner thought he'd crashed, but he didn't. I know these guys must be the greatest race car drivers in the world.
Well, they made some great saves already, that's for sure, and the laps are ticking off quickly. 36 completed. And Bill Weber has a report.
Well, they've taken the right front tire off of Chris Trickle's car. He still sits in the car. He has rubbed against the right side against the wall. They're looking for any damage that they might have done to the suspension on the front of the car. They're not moving too quickly here, so they're obviously going to do some serious checking here and then hopefully get Chris back out. But we talked about how this has been an emotional series for Chris up and down, with more disappointment here today.
That's for sure. He finished 4th in the Southwest Tour points in 1996, but has had his ups and downs in this Winston Challenge Series. Well, the 33 car there on the left of your screen is Henry, and he's running in, what, 2nd position?
And Grosskreutz in the red car has been able to get by Sean Monroe, is now in 3rd spot. Monroe back and forth, and look at them. They're 3 deep as Ivan Russell in the 17 car. Wow. And we saw just a moment ago John Borneman go to the garage area, the 81 car.
Henry and Grosskreutz coming up on the 6th.
Oh, and Henry goes straight in the wall with the right front tire flat.
Can you believe this?
And the caution flag is out.
Wow. Biffle, Trickle, and now Henry, who started in 2nd position, have all had problems here in the first 41 laps of the race, and the caution is out for the first time.
Henry went down in turn 1, and the right front tire just, boom, went flat, and the car directly into the wall. Look at the right front tire.
Yep.
They can't get the jack under the car because Bill Weber.
Well, you're exactly right, Benny. They could not get the jack under the car. He has rubbed against the wall. The right front tire is flat. They're going to put on a new one, try and get it back out, pull some of that sheet metal away. Meanwhile, it's a broken brake caliper for Chris Trickle at the other end of the garage. So 2 flat right front tires here for 2 of the guys who were clearly favorites coming in here this afternoon.
Well, Henry trying to get out of his assigned pit area. There he goes, but has lost some laps. And here's what happened to him. Crossed the line, went into one, and then boom.
There he is, the black car right on the bottom of the racetrack. Grosskreutz right behind him, and look, the right front tire goes flat. He can't do anything except, boom, hit the A in star.
And now this is what happened to Chris Trickle moments ago from his onboard camera. Pretty much the same thing.
Right front tire goes flat, and there's nothing these drivers can do. You just can't turn the car.
So Trickle sits back. In fact, he is unbuckling and climbing out of the car. 44 laps completed here at Tucson. Back in just a moment. We'll show you the top 15 at the completion of 47 laps and about a half a lap away from the restart. I believe they're going to go at least one more. I think they gave the signal, and now the lights on the top of the pace car are still flashing. So we'll go at least one more.
And we see Greg Biffle back in 13th spot. When he did spin up there, he fell all the way back to 27th. But he's worked his way back through 13 of those cars, so he obviously has a fast race car, but traffic is tough on a 3-mile racetrack.
It sure is, and there's still a lot of racetrack between him and the leader, Carl Trimmer. Now the sign is being given one more lap to go, and the green will be coming back out.
And that says Nutter Racing Engines on the hood, not Hutter. Ron Hutter, one of the premier engine builders in the East Coast, but it says Nutter.
Carl Trimmer leads them down. Green flag is out. Scott McGrand is right behind him trying to get his lap back, but he'll not be able to do it. 2nd place is Grosskreutz. Sean Monroe 3rd. 4th is Sweatman, and 5th John Sewell.
6th car is David Pook. He's another car that is a lap down to the Carl Trimmer, and now Grosskreutz trying to do the same thing, and whoa!
Pook almost lost it. He won the consolation, the semi-feature, if you will.
And Sweatman on the inside of Sean Monroe in the orange car, trying to take that spot away. And there he goes alongside, and now Pook has a problem with the 6th car in. He's trying his best to get to the garage area, and I don't know how he made it through that, but he did.
Meanwhile, Sweatman tried to pass both Sean Monroe and thought about Mark Grosskreutz, but couldn't. No, now Biffle in trouble again. He runs into the back of Pook.
Yes, he does. And some pretty heavy damage to the front of the car. I don't know if it is going to bother the cooling of the radiator or not.
You can see, though, he's raised the hood of that car on the right side by bumping into the back end.
And Jeff Hibner in the 27th car got some pretty good damage. The car behind Biffle. Look at the nose of his car.
Yep.
17. The white car is Aaron Newport, a young man out of California.
Let's watch this again as Biffle comes up on David Pook and tries to go to the left, but didn't have enough room.
No. And all of a sudden, Biffle's car is having trouble getting around the racetrack. Just isn't running nearly as good as it was earlier.
No, you're absolutely right about that. He is stalled back there. And there is Sean Monroe. Is that tire smoke?
Yes, the left front tire is rubbing the fender right where it says Goodyear on top of the fender. The tire is rubbing, and I don't know if Sean will be able to run until the halfway break.
Apparently he had contact with the number 11 car of Sweatman, and he's holding on to the third spot, but there's just smoke rolling from the car.
A lot of smoke that time. We see some pretty heavy damage to the door on the left side of Sean Monroe's car.
Yep.
There where it says 48, we see where that's been knocked in.
Meanwhile, Sweatman is now right behind him again. And while all this is going on, Benny, the guy that you talked about in the opening of the show, old Carl Trimmer, is just coasting along.
Boy, he is.
He's got a very, very healthy advantage, almost a full straightaway advantage on second place Mark Grosskreitz.
And I tell you what, this break is not going to come any too soon for Greg Biffle, because he's going to be lucky if Trimmer does not lap him before the halfway break, which is only 15 more laps, but he is very slow around the racetrack right now. There we see Utz, Charles Utz, and Grosskreitz. Grosskreitz in the 72.
Utz has already been lapped. He's back in 19th spot.
He allows the car sideways, and lets Grosskreitz go on. And there we see Monroe and Sweatman.
Sweatman on the bottom here, coming off corner number 4. Falls in behind Sean.
This Sweatman's a breath of fresh air, too. Call him Sweat Hog, and this morning it's 60 degrees here at the racetrack this morning. He's running around that tank top.
Just a little over 10 laps to go to the halfway point. Grosskreitz, Monroe, Sweatman involved in a good battle here for second and third position. Well, Sean's hanging on, and he's only got 12 more laps now to go before the halfway point, although smoke continues to pour from the car. Look at Sweatman, though, on the low side.
Monroe's in that top groove with the banking. They're able to get a good run off the corner. I think Sweatman right now might be faster than both those cars.
Yep.
And look at Sean Monroe trying to take over second spot from Grosskreitz.
They battle down the backstretch.
And Monroe might have it. He does have it. Let's go down to Sean Monroe's crew chief. He's with Bill Weber.
And Terry Henry again behind the wall early. I know you're disappointed. What happened to your right front?
Well, we blew a tire going to the turn, got in the wall a little bit, so it hit the arm and stuff there on us. And now we went back out, and either the transmission's locked up or the rear end's locked up right now. We're trying to figure out which one it is.
Okay, Monroe may need your help here at the break. He's got some problems as well.
Yeah, we'll be here for him.
So Henry changes hats now from race driver to crew chief. And Sean and the others have less than 10 laps to go before the halfway break. Sweatman and Monroe have both moved around Mark Grosskreitz, so Mark drops back to 4th spot.
And Greg Biffle has been lapped. I told you a moment ago he would be fortunate not to. Carl Trimmer has put a lap on Biffle.
So the problems continue for the defending champion of the Winston Challenge Series. Greg Biffle started on the pole. Has had a couple of problems, and as Benny just said, is a lap down. There he is.
I don't know if someone made contact with him while he was trying to get through traffic and had bent something on the car, or maybe he just bent something when he ran the back of the 6 car of David Pook. But obviously having some serious problems.
Less than 5 laps to go to the halfway point. Here is Trimmer in the 3rd and 4th corners now, completing lap number 71. Hibner up ahead. There's Biffle.
Trimmer goes on the inside, trying to put him a lap down.
Biffle's back to 17th position, by the way. Carl with a little bit of traffic up ahead of him, but he has no real worries because the lead is a substantial one. There's the battle for second position. Sean Monroe in 48 and Tom Sweatman in number 11.
They've been racing all 75 laps just like that, or almost like that.
Yeah.
Monroe, the 48 from California. 11 car, Sweatman from Washington.
Said he was listening to Sponge again this morning, BP, to relax himself before the race, whatever that is.
I think it's a band.
Is it?
A group.
All right. The 75th lap is about to be completed. The yellow flag comes out. We're at the halfway point. We'll go around one more time before the pace car comes out to pick up the leader. And Sean Monroe will cross the line in second spot. Sweatman third, then Grosskreutz. And the 45 car of Sean Woodside is going to end up in fifth position at the halfway point. The red flag is out. The cars head for the pit area. Bill Weber is about to go to work back there to tell you about all the problems everybody's having. We'll be back with that after this. It's winter heat from Tucson Raceway Park, ESPN2 Speed World, with three more winter heat events during the month of January. We are completing our halfway point this afternoon as the super late models have completed 75 laps, and now everybody back in the pit area to work on their cars for about 10 minutes. Let's show you the top 15 at the halfway point. Carl Trimmer is showing the way over Sean Monroe and Tom Sweatman, Mark Grosskreutz, and Sean Woodside.
Woodside blew an engine in practice here the last time the late models were here, did not compete, and we see pretty good run, fifth spot.
And here is 16 now through 28, as these cars are at least one lap down to the rest of the field, with Greg Biffle a lap down in 18. Here's Bill Weber with the race leader.
And it's a big drink of water for 57-year-old Carl Trimmer, but you're racing like you're 27. Another great day for you, Carl.
Yeah, feels real good. We put a set of Penske racing shocks on the car, and it just livened it right up.
You thinking about sweeping this series, obviously coming off the win here 2 weeks ago?
Well, if you show up here thinking you can't win, you don't. So I got the right attitude, whether I do or not.
And you've got a lot of success at this track, too, don't you?
Yeah, I guess I'm just scaring the kids to death. I don't know what's wrong with them.
Okay, that's Carl Trimmer. He's the leader at halfway. Now, just down here is the car of Greg Biffle. And let's walk on down here and see if we can't get an update on his situation. Obviously, there's some heavy sheet metal damage to the front of the car, and the crew is jacking up the left side of the car, and I don't see Greg anywhere in sight, so we'll keep our eyes open for him and just see if we can't get a word with him. But as you can see, most of the damage is done to the right front of the car, and you can see here how the hood has been up. And I have found Greg Biffle, who is gone to get a drink and has come back here. Obviously, a difficult first half for you, Greg. What happened?
Yeah, I was running real good, you know, and they told me I had about a 4-car length lead, and I got in the corner a little hot down there and tried to get underneath a lap car, and I knew Carl was back there, and I was trying to put some space between us, and it was slick on the bottom. You know, nobody's running down there yet, and it was pretty green and wasn't a lot of rubber down, so the car got away from me, and I couldn't get a hold of it, and I was trying to pull out, but I didn't have enough room to make the sweep, so I had to back up, and dust was going everywhere, and I couldn't see if there were any cars coming at me, so I had to take a little bit more time to get back out on the track. But then I think we might have cut a left side tire or something down in that gravel because it got pretty bad towards the end. But I'm sure Roger will get it checked out and get us back in the for the second half.
You've got that right front damage. How's the car handling with that?
Fine. It was just a lap car that had a broke right front, and I was going down the backstretch, and I thought he was going to move up high, and he just decided to stay right in the middle, so it was kind of a stupid move on my part. You know, I got right in the back of him. But I want to thank, you know, all the guys that come on board to help us out this time, you know, Steel Trucking and Shock over at the Grub and Steak, and everybody's just been a great help.
Let me ask you something. 2 weeks ago, Chris Trickle went around here. He was leading the race. Carl Trimmer was behind him. Today, similar situation for you. Carl Trimmer seems to have an intimidating factor because he's had so much success here and is a pretty good race car driver.
Yeah, I don't know if that had as much to do with it with me. It's just that there wasn't a lot of rubber on the bottom. I got in pretty hot, and I tried to cut the car low do one of those Hornaday moves, in case Earnhardt's watching today. And it just didn't stick, it just didn't stick. But, in a new car, too, and didn't get a whole lot of practice here. It's those 70 cars or something show up, so you don't get a ton of track time before the race, but I think we'll be there at the end. I'm going to try and get my lap back as soon as the green flies, so that's going to be tough. That'll be the race.
All right, good luck in the second half, Greg. Let's go back up top. I'm going to walk down and see if I can get Monroe.
He finished first, and second in the 3 Winston Challenge races last year and won the title by 72 points. This year, he's having problems. Winter heat from Tucson.
Park. Halfway break in the Winston Challenge, our second race in this 3-race series. Carl Trimmer is the race leader at halfway, but the man running second is Sean Monroe, but it has been another exciting 75 laps for you.
Well, we like to do that out here in Tucson. My boss Hornaday told me to come out here and have some fun. I tell you what, we're driving hard, boss. It's a tough ride, but that Sweatman deal, Sweat Hog, whatever homeboy's name is, that's all right. Just one of them racing deals, I guess. But if we can keep the SMP Cirque right up in the front, maybe we'll have a little bit of fun and be able to party with Benny and you guys tonight.
Now, what about this big old dent in the side of your car? Where'd that come from?
I think it's some guy named Sweat Hog. I wonder how you get a name like Sweat Hog, man. That's pretty radical, bro.
And your tire was smoking pretty good, too, man.
Well, when big boys lean on you, big things start smoking. But we'll be all right. We're just going to go out here and drive it and try to give Carl Trimmer a run for his money,
That should be quite a race, you going against Carl Trimmer. 2 rather diverse personalities there.
It's kind of like rock and roll, you just got to kind of go for it and see what happens and ride.
Okay, that's what he's going to do. That's Sean Monroe. Now, we're going to walk across here and see if we can't get out from back here. And right across here is the 2-car, Craig Rodman, who's had a great run here. A big drink of water, and deservedly so. Marching forward, huh?
Yeah, we didn't fare too well last time here for the Sportsman race, but we got the Advantage Memory ERC Fuels Monte Carlo running real good today and trying to get a little bit farther to the front in the second half.
A lot of traffic out there, but you've been able to find your way through it.
Well, I ran a lot of laps on this racetrack, and we set this car up mainly to run on the bottom because that's where you got to pass here. So, we're looking for a good second half.
Okay, that's Craig Rodman, who has marched to the front after starting 17th. Now, we're going to go ahead and walk over and find Sean Woodside, and we can walk up here and talk to him. As you can see, they've pretty much set out a nice little garage area here for these teams to work in. And right over here on the left-hand side of the garage is the car of Woodside. And we'll see if we can't get over there and get a word with him. He's sitting in his car, the left side jacked up, one crew member leaning in. As you can see, it's very tight quarters here. And as soon as we can step across here, we will. And I'll lean right in here and surprise Sean. Sean, obviously a great run for you in the first half.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. Monroe looked like he was having fun up there. We're just riding, trying to get through the first 75. We watched on TV last week and wasn't too exciting. But the Access Communications Monte Carlo is running pretty good today.
So do you plan to make it extra exciting here in the second half?
Well, I'm going to I think the guy's, what's his name, the Hog or something over here? We'll let him and Monroe duke it out for a while, save some tires, and with 30 to go, we'll go for it.
Okay, so we had the Sweat Hog and the Surfer dude going at it there for a while. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Monroe ride him.
Okay, follow that, Jenkins.
Well, it's nice to know that the future of auto racing is in good hands with people like Sean Woodside and Sean Monroe.
Yes, the two Seans. Sean Monroe has the spiked hair with blonde, and Woodside has his spiked with his black.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Tuesday night at 7:30 when NCAA basketball on ESPN2 features number 17 Minnesota against Rhode Island. Minnesota led by senior guard Bobby Jackson. Rhode Island led by junior guard Tyson Wheeler. And both teams have all 5 starters back from last year. 7:30 Tuesday night here on the Deuce, Minnesota against Rhode Island. The second 75-lap portion of the Winston Challenge is about to begin. And more from Bill Weber down in the pit area.
Mark Grosskreutz started 5th. You're 4th at the break. How's your ride been?
Well, I kind of got into a lap car there and knocked the front end all out, so we straightened it up as best we could, and it's kind of survival right now.
When did that happen?
It happened on our restart with a lap car. Benny told me to use some more racetrack, so maybe I used a little too much.
So obviously, if you've improved that, your car should be a little bit better, might be able to march a little closer to the front.
It was really good at the start. Hopefully we got it back.
Okay, that's Mark Grosskreutz. Good luck in the second half. We're going to walk right back over here and give Tom Sweatman some equal time. I'm not sure if he'll be able to hear me because the motor on his car is running, but we'll lean in here. Hey, how's your race been?
Hey, it's a little different last time, what do you think? Our car's been pretty good. I've been just trying to be a little careful, you know, and hey, I'm having fun, and we got another half to go. I'd like to thank Riverside Cedar for making this happen for me, and well, I think we're in third right now, so what do you think? 2 more to go.
Yeah, obviously, perhaps you and Monroe got together there for a while?
Yeah, we touched a little over there, you know, but he's running good. We're real close, you know. He's a fun dude. He's a surfing dude.
Yeah, but he's butchering your nickname, Sweat Hog.
It don't matter.
He's modified it a little bit, I want you to know.
Well, that's all right. Heck, I don't care. I got a lot of room to take up area, you know.
Okay, and he is third at halfway, guys.
Tom Sweatman from Cosmopolis, Washington. Look at this. Thank you. We're glad to be here. And happy holidays to you, too. We'll be right back. 75-lap segment of the Winston Challenge Series race number 2 at Tucson Raceway Park, winter heat. Well, we'll show you a couple of problems that were encountered during that first 75-lap segment. This is Terry Henry with a problem and getting into the fence.
The right front tire went flat with a fellow who qualified on the outside pole, and when he hit the wall just enough to damage the car to the point that he could not continue.
And Chris Trickle, earlier than that, also had a problem.
Going down in turn 1 and exactly the same thing. He starts to turn, it won't turn, and bam, in the wall, broke a brake rotor. He hit the wall with such force. But I think he has fixed his car and is coming back on the racetrack.
I don't see him out there right now, but he may be coming out. Trimmer is the leader here at the halfway point. We've had 1 lead change. Carl has led 62 of the 76 laps. 2 leaders. The other leader was Greg Biffle. 15 cars currently on the lead lap, and only 1 caution period during that first 75-lap segment for 8 laps. So everybody getting into position now, getting set for 75 laps, and here's the way they're going to restart.
And look at Paul Banghart, local driver, in 6th spot. Craig Rodman, we talked to him, started 18th, is now in 7th spot. He's another driver who blew an engine in the last race 2 weeks ago. John Sewell, Dennis Fetter had a great run the last time. Kevin Vernon, the 51, had problems in the first race. His finished way back, is up in the 11th spot. Tony Izzo, local driver. Aaron Newport from California, and Jimmy Hudson in 15th.
Seems like we always remember the winner of the series, but finishing second in the series last year was Paul Banghart. There are the remaining members of the field, at least 1 lap down, and Bill Weber will send it down to you before we get the green flag.
Okay, well, I'm not with a driver. I'm with 17-year-old Stephanie Resnowicki. How did I do?
That was very good.
And tell all the race fans what you do. You're the tire specialist.
Yeah, I do all the tires on the car. I set the pressures and set the stagger. And that, you know, just basically helps the whole car in the whole scheme, so.
And that's obviously the 94 car we're talking about. Now, the truck wanted to put your name on television. We always put people's names on television, but they didn't know how to spell Resnowicki. How do you spell that?
It's R-Z-E-S-N-O-W-I-E-C-K-Y.
And you're 17 now. You started this when you were 15. Your dad taught it to you?
Yeah, I was hanging out at the track one day, and my dad just started having me start measuring tires, and from then on, I just got more into it, and just a lot of help from the crew guys and Tony Jackson and my dad, and I really got into it.
And you're a junior in high school now, right?
Yeah.
And what do you want to be in the real world?
I want to be a lab tech, work in the medical laboratories and stuff.
So you're practicing here? Is that what you're doing?
No, this is just for fun. This is just a lot of fun, and that's about all.
And a hard job, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's sometimes it's a lot harder. I feel sometimes I have to work twice as hard being a girl, you know, against the guys and everything. So.
Well, we're glad to have you. Good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Guys, how about that? 17 years old, working hard down here, and then wants to go into medicine later on.
And you know what our nickname is, Bob?
Stag, isn't it?
Stag, for Stagger, yeah.
It's nice to know that racing is in the hands of good people like that. They're going to work in the pit area in years to come, huh?
She was a delight. We all talked to her this morning down there. And Bill, I'm glad you were able to get her on because she was a delight.
7:30 Wednesday, NHL here on the Deuce. It's the Kings and the Rangers. They're the Rangers, of course, led by Wayne Gretzky, and he's going to be playing his first game against the Kings since he got into a Ranger uniform. Check it out at 7:30 Wednesday night, the Kings and the Rangers. The NHL Fire on ice, and Fire heating up winter heat as the second of our 75 lap segments is about to begin. The green flag waves, and here we go. Now remember, Greg Biffle said he was going to be trying to get that lap back as quickly as possible. That is him on the inside.
And Tom Sweatman, Sweat Hog, has got a problem. All the field is going by.
Man, oh man.
Last week in the Southwest Tour race, we saw M.K. Kankey lose a rear end in the car. Maybe something like that could have happened in the 95 car. Jimmy Hudson has fun up in the corner. There's debris on the racetrack.
And the caution flag is waving. There you see Hudson, whose car is on the grass, the end of the backstretch, and a piece of his car is right in the middle of the racetrack.
And Sweatman did not go to the garage area, so maybe he just missed a shift on the start. I don't know.
Well, if he did, he dropped way, way back, lost several positions. There is Sweatman. So while they clean up the debris, we'll sneak in a quick break here at Tucson Raceway Park. It is Carl Trimmer once again showing the way in the Winston Challenge Series. We only ran 3 laps of the second half of the race before we had a caution. Jimmy Hudson spinning over in the backstretch and scattering debris. Meanwhile, Tom Sweatman pulls in. Here's Bill Weber.
And Tom was third at the halfway mark, but now you're back here in the garage. We can see the damage. Tell us what it is.
I guess it's a broken A-arm. You know, I don't know. It's just the racing and the roller coaster's been kind of going down the wrong way, you know. Hey, you want to drive?
I don't think so. Not the way your luck's going, but you're still able to smile.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do, sit here and cry?
When did you feel it happened?
Well, I just warmed the tires up, and it felt kind of weird, and I called, and I said, car's turning right. I'm going to have to come in, you know, and oh, well.
And you know what this is, don't you? You remember that from this morning?
Yeah, it was another deal, you know.
Now, if they found this piece of a drill bit in their tires, they went out to scuff tires for 2 laps so they could qualify and then race on them, came back into the garage, and this was in your right rear tire, right?
Yeah, I think that was one of the little problems, yeah. Oh, well, you having fun yet?
I'm having a blast. How about you?
I'm gonna get back out there.
You coming back in January?
Oh, yeah. If there's something left by the time we get through this, my luck's got to change. I'm gonna put a horseshoe on this unit.
Okay, now it's a total restart, so you'll probably, you might be all right when you get back out there.
Yeah, who knows, you know.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, I think I'll go golfing.
I'll go with you on that. Okay, back up top.
You know, is he superstitious?
Why?
Sweatman, he sounded like he was a little bit...
Oh, the horseshoe?
You know, yeah. It's unlucky to be superstitious. You know that.
He didn't participate in this series last year, did he?
Tom Sweatman? No, he did not.
Yeah. No. Okay, what we're going to do is have a complete restart. We're going to pick it up from the 76th lap, and we're going to go from there when we come back. About to resume racing here at Tucson Raceway Park. Again, they have taken some laps off the board. They've decided to pick things up with the completion of lap number 76.
So you see Greg Biffle back in the 5th car back. He had passed a couple of cars in that 1 lap. But since this is a total restart, he will have to start all the way back where he did before.
I think he passed all of them just before that caution came out, but he's got his work ahead of him right now. He's working the bottom of the racetrack once again. Now he goes to the top. That's Scott McGrand in 56, who also is trying to get a lap back. Here comes Greg on the inside. They're 3 wide at the line, and let's see what Biffle can do. Well, he gets one of them. Both McGrand and Biffle pass the 94 car of Mike Ray.
That's the car that Stephanie, we talked to just a moment ago, works off the 94.
The 95 car of Hudson, the car that spun. Caution flag is out. Car that spun has been black flag because he's dropping body parts, and that's probably why we have a caution. They got some debris out there.
Santa Claus is displaying the caution flag.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a complete set in turn 1 that the crew, the cleanup workers are running down and picking up a couple of pieces. There they are.
Yep. 78 laps complete now with the caution out again. And here's Bill Weber.
Well, Bob, as you remember a year ago, Chris Saylor was involved in a pretty nasty wreck here at Tucson Raceway Park. We're happy to see you back, and you're still working in racing. You're not driving anymore.
I'm not driving right now, but I'm still working, helping out, learning some. So when I do be able to come back, I'll be a little better.
That was obviously a frightening wreck for all of us watching, one I'm sure for you. Tell us about your physical condition. You look to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, well, I broke my leg and messed up my knee and shattered my knuckle on my left hand and broke my right wrist, but just about everything's healed. I don't walk too well and I don't run, but otherwise everything's going all right. I just have a little double vision still, and it's getting better.
Still love racing?
Oh, yeah. Typical racer. Here I am on a Sunday. I'm not racing, but I'm here.
Yeah. And they put styrofoam up where you wrecked here, Chris. Obviously, you contributed perhaps to the safety of other drivers in the future.
Well, there was one guy in the middle of the season this year, and he hit almost like me, but he hit rear end first. So and that was the deciding factor of them to put something there, because it is a dangerous spot.
Well, it's great to see you. We're glad you're doing well, and good luck in the rest of your recovery. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
That was a vicious crash, and it came during a consolation race, and so we didn't have it on tape, but he went sideways into the wall, and I guess his head might have hit the wall, so they put those styrofoam pads up there.
You know, and I've thought about him 3 or 4 times this winter, wondering how he was. I keep forgetting to ask him. Bill Weber, thank you for doing it.
There's the update. Back with more winter heat after this. Stay with us. We have a crash on the racetrack. Several cars involved. Look at Charles Utz. The front end of that car is blazing badly as he tries to get it stopped here in turn 4. He's got the buckles undone and he climbs out, but that car is blazing badly. And yes, Charles, we're glad to see you out of that race car.
Man, oh man.
There were several cars involved in this incident. Jeff Hibner in 27 was involved, and his car is sideways in the racetrack down in turn 2.
Yeah, the 27 of Hibner and Scott McGrand made contact going down in turn 1, and Hibner just could not get it off the wall and finally spun up. Folks, we're going to show you what happened.
We got a red, by the way, Benny.
The red flag is out as the debris is cleared. There we see the 56 of Scott McGrand on the inside of the 27 Hibner. Black car is Biffle. That's the leader, Carl Trimmer in 74. Watch now here, they're going to make contact. And in the wall goes the 27 car of Hibner. Well, he follows along the wall, but right here he loses the back. Tries to keep it up on the racetrack, but it won't. It rolls back, and here comes that, and boom, and evidently knocks the gas line off. And Tony Izzo, the 3 cars spin out, and Izzo was running in 11th spot. But I guess he knocked the gasoline line off the 66 car. Once again, we'll try to show you from a camera here on the top of the press box as Hibner, the 27, comes down, and boom, right there. And I'm sure that the gas line was knocked off the 66 car and sprayed on the brakes. And Charles Utz thought about driving, I think, the car to a fireman.
Yep. Okay, let's go down to Bill Weber, who's with John Sewell, who pulled out of the race just before this incident happened.
And before the green flag came out, he did come back into the garage, and John, you had a flat right front tire.
Yeah, we got into, on a restart, I jumped down low. Another gentleman jumped in front of me there and clipped him from tire. I guess we just blew out a front tire and a wheel. Hopefully that's all that's wrong with it. I've been falling back earlier in the race. We didn't run bleeders today. First time I haven't run bleeders all year. We had a little too much stagger, but my tire guy's good at what he does. So we're going to go back out and run a little less stagger and try to get back up front a little bit. It's a hard road now. We got to start in the back of the pack. So it's not been a good couple weeks, has it, Bill?
No, it sure hasn't. And they've changed the tire, but since we're under the red flag, obviously he has to sit here until the yellow comes back out, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
John Sewell with a problem, and here is Charles Utz's machine down in turn number 4. A huge amount of fire was coming from that machine as it went down the backstretch.
There we see Utz. Now we see him letting the window net down. I think he wanted to drive the car to a fire truck so they could immediately put it out. But all of a sudden, he said, you know what? It's a little too warm in here to try to worry about getting this car to a fireman. Let me just stop and get out.
Look at the blaze on that thing.
That has to be gasoline. Nothing would burn that hot, I don't think, except gasoline.
And Charles climbed out, raised his hands to the multitude assembled and signifying he's okay. The car burned up, but he's all right. Here's Bill.
I can't believe you're smiling. I guess you're happy to be out of that thing.
First off, Jeff Huebner's the one that loaned me a transmission earlier, so, you know, it's just an incident. Got hot. I saw the flames right off the corner here, and so all I was doing is pulling everything so that as soon as I got stopped, I was out. And I got a lot of respect for fire, so I wasn't about to go doing that.
What happened?
Well, I got down a lap because the car was just a little loose, and Jeff hit the wall and just came down, and back end came around, and there was nowhere to go. Craig Rodman's on the bottom of me, so, you know, what can you do? I'd like to thank Ingram Paper Custom Printing, my mom and dad.
Come on, Charles, you're all right.
Okay.
You're all right, man.
Ramjet rear ends, Ron Signs, checkered flag, and also, hey, Merry Christmas, and thank you, NASCAR and ESPN.
Okay, Charles, thank you. Glad to be out of that car, guys.
And the car is on a rollback. We are under red here at Tucson with 86 laps completed. Back with more of the Winter Heat Series in just a moment. Carl Trimmer showing the way once again this week. Field begins to move away now. These laps after red before we get the green flag do not count, so we're stuck at 86 at the moment as the track crew continues to clean up some debris on the racetrack. Wednesday, December 18th, 11 o'clock from San Diego, California. The X Games go on the road. Athletes compete in various events from BMX to inline skating. If the X Games weren't enough, check out Destination Extreme Wednesday, 11 o'clock from San Diego. You ever tried inlining, BP?
Nope.
Ever plan to?
No. I've never been on skates, roller or bladed.
Is that right?
No.
Oh, I love to roller skate. I'm not real good on ice skates, but...
I'd make a big mess when I fell down, so...
Yeah, you're right. Well, here are drivers who competed in the first two winter heats. Grosskreutz, 2nd and 13th. Sean Monroe, 5th and 12th. And Chris Trickle, 9th and 17th. Those are the drivers who competed in the first late model race and then the second NASCAR Southwest Tour event. They're back for the third round, and here's where they're running. Grosskreutz 2nd, Monroe 3rd, and Chris Trickle is back in 27th position. All right, let's go to Bill Weber, who's standing by with Jeff Hittner.
And obviously, your car is pretty much of a mess. What happened out there?
Well, we got a lap down right before halfway, which really upset me. We only had one lap to go. We'd have been, you know, back where we can race with the other guys. And then the 56 car got up next to me on the restart there, and I guess he did a little payback. I planted him pretty good last week, or last time we raced, when we had a bunch up under a restart. But he got my car a little worse than I got his last time.
And you're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just sorry I couldn't keep it up on the wall. The steering went away and the brakes went away. And we're going to get run over.
Okay, good. That's Jeff Hittner. And there's a sweat hog coming through here, so we're moving out of the way.
Yeah, Sweatman back on the racetrack. Jeff Hittner, one of the local drivers from here at Tucson, was a provisional starter in today's race, but is out of competition at the moment. Here's Sweatman back in the running, but he is several laps down. He's completed 76, so he's going to be 10 laps down when we get the restart.
I see John Sewell in the 99 car just in front of him. He's also back on the racetrack. So that flat tire has been changed, and there we see him. The only book, the Yellow Pages, sponsor on the 99 car. Also, I guess that's Sharp Computers.
Yep. He won 4 times here at Tucson Raceway Park during the year of 1996. And finished 2nd in the points in this year's Sunbelt region. He's also the track record holder here at Tucson Raceway Park at 15.068 in a late model. Ho, 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 back with Mo right after this. We are back to racing at Tucson Raceway Park. And about to complete the 89th lap, Carl Trimmer in the lead, but both Scott McGrand and Greg Biffle there, 56 and 16, trying to get their laps back.
And McGrand is really trying hard in that red 56 car. And it closes up right on the back of Trimmer in the corner, but Trimmer able to get off the corner a little bit better. Now Biffle's on the inside of McGrand, and woo, just goes right by him.
He got him now. If he can pass Trimmer, Greg Biffle will be back on the lead lap. He is currently running in 14th position, gets the nose headed toward the bottom of the racetrack, but couldn't make the pass. And Sean, make it the 45 car of Sean Woodside is battling with the 14 of Dennis Fetter.
And also Craig Rodman, so that's a battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Oh, there goes Biffle on the inside of Trimmer.
I think he's going to do it. Yep. Biffle is back on the lead lap.
Oh, look at that. Look, the body is lifted right off of Jimmy Hudson's car.
Talk about a spoiler, huh? Hudson heads for the pits.
Man.
No caution. That's what Greg Biffle needed but didn't get. So we remain under green.
I mean, he really needs a caution now, and then let him pass a few cars and get another caution about 10 or 15 laps if he has any chance of winning this race this afternoon.
Yep.
There we see Grosskreitz coming closing in on the back of McGrand. And back to this battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Woodside in 45, Fetter, Craig Rodman.
Craig Rodman is Chris's brother. Chris, the winner last week in the Southwest Tour event. And now Fetter has the position.
He does, and Rodman got his car a little bit loose getting off turn 4 when he tried to turn under the 45 car of Sean Woodside.
So Woodside drops back to 6th spot, trying to hold off Rodman.
And you know, we keep talking about Greg Biffle building race cars. Greg Rodman also builds race cars. He bought a company from Ron Hornaday called Victory Circle, and he builds a lot of the cars in today's race have his chassis. We'll be racing his chassis.
And a spin down in turn 1. Izzo almost flipped over. There are 3 cars involved. Pook is involved, and so is John Baker in number 18. Both Izzo and Pook got their cars off the racetrack.
And Izzo backed in the wall pretty good, as you said. Looked like he was going to flip over for a second. So that's a bit of a break for Biffle.
Yes, it is. Tony Izzo from Tucson, who's provided some fudge for Benny and me and Bill today. Now let's see if we can figure out. There is the 18 car spinning.
But I don't know what. And there we see, ooh, he made contact with Baker's.
And there is the contact with Pook.
Yes. Yeah, they ran over wheels in the 3 and the 18 is why that Izzo almost flipped over, if not the wall.
John Baker, another local driver from Tucson. Izzo able to get his car rolling once again. We are under caution with 100 of the 150 laps completed. ESPN2 is going to heat up your winter in January with 3 more events from here at Tucson Raceway Park. Another Southwest Tour event, then the late models, and we wrap it up with the first of the Winston West Series. And here is the field summary showing you that there are now 11 cars on the lead lap with Greg Biffle in 11th position.
Aaron Newport hanging in there. Did not run the last race, neither did Bruce in 9th spot.
Now 16 through 28. Bad day for Chris Trickle, who was an early casualty here this afternoon.
And Pook's car being towed away, and they're still waiting on, I guess, hoping the push vehicle, the pickup behind the 18 car, will be able to push him away, and it will not need a wrecker. We'll see. 6 car, meanwhile, they're having trouble getting the car rolling.
Well, let's show you the dates and the times of these 3 races coming up. The Featherlight Southwest Tour, NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour event on the 5th of January at 3 o'clock Eastern, as opposed to 4 o'clock that we've been having come on the air during December. The third race of the Winston Challenge, the final race in which the $15,000 bonus money will be handed out, is the 12th at 3 o'clock, and then the 1997 season opener for the NASCAR Winston West Series is on the 19th at 3 o'clock. And let's go down to Bill Weber.
Well, Bob, John Sewell talked about the bleeder valve. Now, these cars here in this series are running bias ply tires, and in Winston Cup, of course, in Busch, they run radials, but the bias ply tire, you can actually help control the size of the tire by the tire pressure. That helps control the stagger of the tire and how you set up your car. Well, in order to keep these tires consistent, once you actually get the tire pressure you want the tire to stay at, they have bleeder valve. And as the tire gets hotter, the tire pressure will increase. But this bleeder valve here has a spring, so when it reaches a certain temperature, it'll let that additional tire pressure out. So if this tire pressure, say, is 30 pounds, it'll stay there as it goes along during the race, because this bleeder valve will allow the extra tire pressure or the heated air to escape, keeping the tire at about 30 pounds. Is that about it, Benny?
That's very good, Bill. Exactly. You did real good.
Thank you. I had a lot of coaching down here, I want you to know.
And that way they're able to keep the stagger consistent.
Sort of like a pressure cooker, releases the steam when it gets built up.
Exactly. I should have thought of that because that's something to do with cooking.
See, I know how to relate to you. Now, let's take a look at the top 10 in points as we enter this second race. And this reflects the finish of race number 1 2 weeks ago. And again, those highlighted drivers there in 4th and 8th, Jim Waters and John Kinder, were not able to get into today's field. So they'll get no more points. But Grosskreutz, Izzo, Monroe, Fetter, Utz, Trickle, and Banghart all are chasing Carl Trimmer. And we get the 1 lap to go signal. Bill.
Hey, Benny, is this what the tire looks like when the bleeder valve doesn't work?
No, that's what it looks like when it makes contact with the wall.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Pace car pulls on to the infield, and we're back to racing. Remember, Biffle has his lap back, but is at the rear of the field and has a long way to go.
The third car in line is Grosskreutz in second place. Once again, we'll watch the entire field go by.
Sean Monroe running third. Paul Banghart is fourth. And in fifth position is Dennis Fetter. Grosskreutz now goes to the bottom side of the racetrack to try to get around Scott McGrand.
Can't quite make it. Comes off the corner. He might have him this time if he comes up. He might, but not quite. Nope. Now he's got him. Comes off turn 2. And Grosskreutz now can set his sights on the leader of the race, Carl Trimmer.
No traffic between himself and the leader of the race, but there is a bit of racetrack between the two. There's Sean Monroe, the third place car in white there, car 48. We got a crash here on the main straightaway, and the caution flag is coming out. Everybody moves away, though, so no serious damage. I think the 17 of Ivan Russell, the 99 of John Sewell, and probably the 61 of Wes Rhodes were involved, right?
Yeah, Wes Rhodes and Ivan Russell, I think, were the two guys involved. I don't know that Sewell was involved at all. I think he just kind of stopped to avoid the wreck.
There is Wes Rhodes from Olympia, Washington, one of the guys that made it into this race through the consolation event. 112 laps have been completed. The track crew will go on to the main straightaway to see if there is any debris left from the contact of those cars. We'll be right back. Less than a lap away from going back to green, and here is why we are under caution. Watch closely. They're coming out of turn number 4. In the upper part of your screen, you'll see some cars get together.
That's Ivan Russell that was sideways in the 61 car. Wes Rhodes makes contact, and all the debris comes off the cars. That's what caused the caution flag, was the debris. Now we're back to green. This is live action as Monroe in the white car tries to get by McGrand. He does.
So now the first 3 are running right together on the racetrack with no lap cars separating them. And Mark Grosskreutz is staying within a car length of Carl Trimmer. And Grosskreutz has been good in every single race that we have had here at Tucson.
Yes, he has. Sponsored by Flying J. And he's trying to fly past the 74 car.
Started in 5th position, currently runs in 2nd. We understand the 18 car of John Baker just scraped the wall here on the main straightaway, but kept going, and now there's caution as a car is, and that is Baker, who spun over in turn 2.
Well, he just stopped over in turn 2. He missed the entrance to the garage area, pit road, and now he's going in the wrong way. He's backing down there.
Yep.
You see, the wheels won't turn.
Yep.
He's broken the tie rod, and the car won't turn. But somehow he somehow got it turned around, and anyway, the caution flag came out because he was simply stalled on the racetrack.
Yep. Shouldn't be a lengthy caution, I would not guess, because I don't think he scattered any debris. Just was in a bad location over there in the 2nd corner when he missed the entrance to the pit area. So another caution comes out, and 121 laps have been completed. It's our 6th caution of the afternoon, and the 1 more to go signal is being given. So it will be a short caution.
And right now, Trimmer, Grosskreutz, Monroe, Banghart, and Fetter all are nose to tail with no slow cars between the two.
Greg Biffle up to 10th position. Pace car pulls out. Field accelerates. Here we go once again.
96, the yellow and white car, is Paul Banghart. We've not talked about him a lot today.
And the white number 14 right behind him is Dennis Fetter. Here's Greg Biffle picking off positions as up front we have a battle for the lead. Grosskreutz was alongside Trimmer for a moment.
Took a lead, but coming off the corner started to lose the back end, so he wisely backed off, waited for a never spot. There we see the first 5 cars.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the lap car of Scott McGrand. 25 laps to go, 125 completed. And I'm not so sure, Benny, but what Greg Biffle can't be a contender in this race at this point because he is moving up rather quickly. There he is. He's up to 7th position now. He's got a lot of traffic and a lot of racetrack to go, and the caution comes out again. We have a crash down in turn 4. The 15 of Aaron Newport involved, and I can't see who else. Tom Sweatman is, obviously.
Also looks like the 61 of Wes Rhodes is facing the wrong way. There we see Sweatman going back in the action. And there we see the 15 car you're talking about of Aaron Newport. And there's a black car up on the top of the racetrack. I believe it might be Wes
Yeah,
Rhodes.
I believe it is. It's, yeah, 61.
Yes. It looks like he's got some pretty good damage. Let's see if we can see what happened.
Yeah, it was pretty much over by the time we picked it up.
Yeah, sure was.
In any case, looks like Rhodes has the worst end of this deal because the 15 and the 11 have both gotten restarted, but Wes Rhodes in car number 61, Wes from Olympia, Washington, is still stopped at the top of turn number 4.
And Biffle is up to 6th spot. Greg Biffle has worked his way up to 6th, and you're right, Bob. If he could just get back a couple more cars and then have another caution flag to let him get back up nose to tail, he does have a chance. There we see him.
Yeah, these laps are killing him, though, because these caution flag laps count, and so we're up to 129 now, and he needs some green flag racing.
Let's just see if we can talk to Greg Biffle and see what he thinks of his chances. Hey, Greg, this is Benny Parsons up in the tower. You got me?
It's loud and clear, Benny.
Well, you've worked your way back up to 6th spot. Can you get these guys?
I can get them all just as long as there's enough laps left.
Is 20 laps going to be enough for you?
I don't know. It's looking, just depends on how long this wreck takes to clean up, Benny. But I got an awesome car here. We had a flat right rear tire that last 75, so that's what happened to us. But I think we got a real good chance to get up here to the front, but just as long as we don't get too many more yellows.
Well, you need to pass a couple of cars and have one more yellow to let you catch back up, and then just a brief yellow to let you catch up.
That'll do it, Benny. That'll do it. Can you make that happen for me?
I'll run downstairs and talk to him. See you later. Good luck.
Wes Rhodes' car being taken off of the racetrack now on the back of the hook.
Let's try Grosskreutz and see what he's...
All right.
Hey, Mark, this is Benny Parsons up in the tower. You got me?
How you doing, Benny?
I'm doing good. You got a great run going today. Can you pass that old guy in front of you?
Give it my best shot. We had to use it up quite a bit getting through there and see what we got left for him.
Almost had him one time coming off turn 2.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get him on this restart.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mark Grosskreutz, who finished second in the first late model race we had this year.
To Carl Trimmer.
Yes, that's right. They're running in the same order that they finished last time. Mark's home racetrack is State Line Speedway in Idaho, although he calls Spokane, Washington his home. Here's Bill Lever.
Well, I was just up in the spotter stand, and I talked to Carl Trimmer's son, Rick, and he says their car is definitely better under longer green flag runs. They're just taking a little bit of time to build up the heat. So the longer the run, the better advantage they think they're going to have on Grosskreutz. And you just heard Mark's position on how things are going to unfold here. So obviously the 74 looking for a long run here.
All right. Once again, we're about to go back to racing. Trimmer leads them down, and Greg Biffle is on the inside of Sean Woodside, back of Grosskreutz and Trimmer. Grosskreutz again on the low side, but Trimmer knows the best way around, doesn't he?
He does know the best way around, but I think Grosskreutz realizes that it does take a few laps for Trimmer to get going. Never see Feder trying to get by Bangart. Meanwhile, the black car, Greg Biffle, comes into the shot.
He's already picked off Sean Woodside and moved up to 6th position.
There's Feder in the 14 car. That's 5th. Meanwhile, Feder tries to get by Bangart down in turn 3.
Ooh, they go in there wheel to wheel, and Biffle sees them touch, and he goes in 3 wide. Here they are in 1 more position.
And Feder takes over that spot from Bangart, but meanwhile, he's got Biffle right on the inside of him.
And Biffle has the advantage coming off the corner. Greg Biffle is in 4th position at the moment. How about that? Greg is back to 4th. So now it's Trimmer, Grosskreutz, Sean Monroe, Greg Biffle, and Dennis Feder.
And we still have 13 laps to go. Now 12 to go. Can Biffle catch him?
And as you said, Benny, what he needs now is a short caution to make up that interval between himself and Sean Monroe, and he may have himself a win here this afternoon. But we stay green, and now 139 laps have been completed, just 10.5 to go.
There we see Sean Monroe.
There is the interval up to the leader.
And Ivan Russell, the 17 car, is pulling off the racetrack, going to the garage area.
Grosskreutz closes in once again on Carl Trimmer.
Now, if you could get those guys running side by side for a couple of laps, that would help both Biffle and Sean Monroe.
Monroe is 3rd. There he is in the white car, 48. Going to be very difficult to pass Carl Trimmer.
Yes, it is.
He knows his way around this place, and with as much experience that he has, it's going to be real difficult. He's in his 38th year of competition, Carl is.
Now, looks like Biffle has almost caught Monroe, but we're running out of time.
Yeah, and it looks like Monroe is also inching up on Grosskreutz. There are the top 4, folks, with just a little over 5 laps to go. Grosskreutz is going to go for it on the bottom again. That isn't going to work for him. But look in the back. Biffle's alongside Sean.
There he is for 3rd spot. They come off the corner side by side.
5 laps to go.
And Biffle has caught the group of cars, but he's only got, oh, there's a slow car. Woo-hoo,
that
some
was
contact between Biffle and Monroe.
That was the 18 car of John Baker.
Now Grosskreutz and Biffle almost make contact.
Greg might win this thing yet. Biffle and Grosskreutz wheel to wheel through 3 and 4, and now Biffle is about to get the lead. He's within a half a car length. And I think he's going to do it, Benny.
I don't know. He still hasn't done it.
Oh,
contact between the two.
Trimmer fighting back on the outside.
And some smoke out of Sean Monroe.
Now he's got him. He's got him. 2 laps to go. Biffle has taken the lead with 2 to go. Trimmer goes to the bottom of the track.
And he and Grosskreutz almost made contact. Carl Trimmer's going to the inside to try to get by Biffle. And Grosskreutz was there.
White flag is out. 1 more lap to go. Baker sideways off the 4th corner. Almost spins. We'll keep our focus, though, up front. Carl Trimmer sideways coming off the 2nd corner. He has 2nd place. Greg Biffle is going to win the Winston Challenge, race number 2. Trimmer sideways at the... Oh, man.
And both cars spin out of the 1st corner.
Man, oh, man, what a finish.
Wow, Monroe and Trimmer both spin, and I believe Carl Trimmer ran 4th.
Can you believe that?
No.
Oh, man.
Man, oh, man. Yes, he did.
That was fun.
What a great finish, and what a great job by Biffle.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. After being a lap down, experiencing a couple of problems, Greg Biffle makes up the lap and wins in an exciting finish, and the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th was even better. Let's take a look at it.
Watch this, folks. Man, I don't have to say anything. Watch this.
Look at Trimmer, how sideways he was off the 4th corner.
And he and Monroe make contact and both spin. Woo!
Grosskreutz was 2nd, Monroe 3rd, and Carl Trimmer finished 4th.
So that means that Grosskreutz will take over the points lead.
Yep.
And Trimmer gets a huge hand from the local crowd from Tucson as he goes down the front straight. He's going to come by and just check and see where he finished. There we see the contact between Monroe and Trimmer. And there they both spin. Wow.
That was some race. Good old-fashioned short track racing on a Sunday afternoon. Here's Bill Weber.
look at this. Well, you did it the hard way. From first to last, the first. Forget the rest of the race. Just tell us about the last, say 10 or 12 laps.
I thought there was no chance of getting him. I said, there's no way. I'm happy with 4th or 3rd. I might get Sean. And then I get up there, because I couldn't catch him. And then I caught him and started working on the bottom, and the car's just awesome on the bottom. I just can't do anything wrong. I should have been running there all day, you know. But I was. I got a little too low at the beginning of the race and spun. But this is, I just don't believe it.
How did you come through that much traffic, Greg, and get back to the front?
I don't know. I drove my butt off, boy. I tell you, Roger, and about 4 laps to go, he says, pour the coal to her. He says, just give it everything you got. And I just hung her out. I did it.
I wouldn't have given many people a chance to get past Carl Trimmer on this track. I'd say, obviously, the 3 guys battling in front of you helped your situation.
Yeah, they did. They kept, probably got the, Carl probably had the reverse going. Carl's probably bugged, had guys on his bumper and knew he had to stick it out. And, he did. He was a tough guy, and they really got some power, those ported cylinder head motors. And, they get me a little bit on the straightaway, but I'd get them so good in the corner, it was great. I want to thank Steel Trucking and Bob's Paintland and Iron Tech, one of our sponsors from the season. And I just want to thank everybody, Chuck at the Grub Steak, and everybody's been great to us down here.
And you're obviously still looking for a full-time ride for 97.
Yeah, it's, we're hoping and searching. It's getting pretty late in the year, if we get something for 97, but we just hope that, we can come up with something.
Okay, well, I'm sure they're watching today. Greg, congratulations. You're right back in the points race. Welcome back to Victory Lane.
Hi, Dad. These are the wooden chicken.
So Greg Biffle comes from a lap down and takes the checkered flag. We'll be back to talk with 2nd place Mark Grosskreutz and 3rd place Sean Monroe in just a moment. Just a tremendous race here at Winter Heat, Tucson Raceway Park, the NASCAR Super Late Models. Greg Biffle goes to victory. Watts second, third, and fourth come to the line.
The 74 car is Carl Trimmer. The yellow car, that's Sean Monroe. The white car, and Grosskreutz in the red car. And now watch, it's not over yet. Now it's over as they come slide into a stop and don't hit a thing.
Just a beautiful synchronized spin. Here's Bill Weber.
Okay, and this is Mark Grosskreutz. How did I do? Grosskreutz.
Good.
And I am Weber. Oh, man, I thought you'd go. And this is his spotter. I mean, his wife, Teresa. Congratulations. Obviously, another second-place finish. A great day for you.
Yeah, that was a wild finish, huh? That was a crowd pleaser.
You tell me about it.
I don't even remember. It was just a blur. So.
You tried to get by Trimmer in 2 late in the race. Didn't look like you could do it.
Yeah, I had a little bit for him on the restarts for about a lap, and that was it.
He'd be a tough guy to get around here, wouldn't he, Mark?
Yeah, he's real tough here.
Obviously, a great day for you. Second in points. My math would have you probably either tied or leading at this point.
I have no idea. We'll just come back.
Well, I'm telling you that you're right up there near the front. How's that feel?
That sounds good.
Okay, and you were back there. You were spotting for him, and you were between. Where were you standing back there?
Between Monroe's spotter and Trimmer's spotter.
How was it?
It was okay till the end.
How'd he do today, Mark?
Great. Okay. Super.
And congratulations, and you're tied for the points lead. A $15,000 point fund here, so.
Great. Thanks. Got to say hi to the kids, Jason and Kaylee, Mom and Dad. Got to thank my crew chief, Scott Brandt, for setting this thing up. It was on a rail most of the day, so.
And I guess we'll see you in January.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thanks.
Okay, that's Mark Grosskreutz. He finished second, and now over here, the interview all of America has been waiting for, except Ron Hornaday, because Hornaday's fishing somewhere today and wasn't watching, didn't see him muscle your way to third.
You know the boss had to tape that one, Big Daddy. That was thundering.
Well, now tell me about those closing laps.
I figure, wow, man, Grandpa's on a mission here, Big Daddy, and some guy named Biffle's driving on a bottom slide up him. I said, well, you know what, if we're hitting, baby, let's just go all the way and buy new. So,
now, what does that mean in English?
Oh, that means we're going to come here and try to do our best, I guess. You know, Carl Trimmer got loose coming off. Me, Mark, everybody, one of those racing deals. Carl Trimmer's unbelievable, man. That old man's out here racing, beating up on us little young punks. So, but more surprisingly is Mr. Biffle. I don't understand how that works, man. You go down a lap, you make your lap back, and you just come up and beat me, you know?
But you had a great day and a good ride, Sean.
Well, I'll tell you what, the car got a little battered up, but LTR, you know, the horsepower is unreal. You know, got this 3-year-old motor, and it's someone else's car. We're running it, Victory Circle, everybody. So we're just having a good time, man. I love coming out here, hanging out with Benny. Hopefully everyone has a good Christmas.
Yeah, and across the line, get third place, and then the pirouette over here with Carl Trimmer.
Well, that was a little glory move for Benny. I just wanted to keep him happy up in the booth because, you know, I know he gets a little bit bored if I don't give him a little excitement. What is there else there to do?
Now, does Hornaday, he always pages you after the race to critique your day.
I wonder what he's going to say today. I think he might say, good job. I don't know, though, you know, but I just want to let you know, boss, I love you. I appreciate everything. And if you're mad, wait about 10 minutes and then call me.
Okay. Sean, great run today. Congratulations.
Thanks, Phil. See you, Benny. Later, bro.
Okay, buddy.
There he is, the third-place finisher today, whose motto is, go big, go fast. Well, that finish was pretty extreme. Destination Extreme, presented by Slim Jim, happens Wednesday at 11 o'clock from San Diego as the X Games go on the road, and the athletes compete in various events from BMX to online skating. Destination Extreme, Wednesday at 11 o'clock on ESPN2. We'll be right back. Here are the points, by the way. If it were to end, Carl Trimmer would be the champion because of his win. Back with more in just a moment.
Just what?
4 or 5 laps when he was running fourth and how he managed to get into the lead.
There he is, the dark car, number 16. The leader is the 74, Carl Trimmer. Mark Grosskreutz in second spot, and Sean Monroe in third. There we see Biffle come off the corner. He and Monroe are side by side down in turn 1. And Biffle's car sticks on the bottom so well. And he gets by Monroe. And there's the slow car where he and Monroe made contact. Now he closes in on the back bumper of Grosskreutz. Now Mark thought about going to the inside, but Biffle was there. Goes to the inside. Almost gets by Mark. But now while he's there, he might as well try to take the lead. He's down in the corner, and look at this. Just drives up beside Trimmer. Off the corner in turn 1. And Biffle Fights on the inside of the racetrack, something that you wouldn't think could be done. But at this Tucson Raceway Park with its multi-banks, he can do it, takes the lead as Grosskreutz is trying to take over second spot on the inside.
Now, from this point, Greg pretty much pulled away from everybody else, but the next three engaged in a terrific duel to the line.
To the line for second spot. And we see John Baker gets loose off the corner. I thought maybe the caution flag was going to wave if he spun. But meanwhile, Mark Grosskreutz is trying it so hard on the inside. He stays there. Monroe closes up. Now they're coming off the corner. This is for the checkered flag. And Monroe and Trimmer make contact. And what? After the checkered flag, they both spin. But Trimmer goes from leading the race with 5 laps to go and will finish 4th. And there he is with Bill Weber.
And Carl Trimmer has won a lot of races at this track, a lot of championships. In fact, literally helped build this racetrack. Disappointed here, though, this afternoon.
Well, not really. I think we put on a pretty good show for him. Car got a little bit tight towards the end there. We put on rears instead of rights. I don't know what we should have did, but maybe next time we'll get smarter. But it's like I said, when you have to race with people you don't never race against, you don't know how they're going to treat you. Now we know.
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Carl?
Well, you don't know the ones that you can really race with and the ones that'll just take you out. You know, the ones that'll take you out that I race with every week, I know how to treat them. The ones I never have to race with, you got to let them knock you around before you know who's going to do what.
There was a lot of traffic there with the 4 of you cars in the final few laps. I wouldn't have given a chance for anybody passing you on this track, but then there were just so many cars there at one point. Obviously, that worked to Biffle's advantage.
Well, yeah. I probably should have kept him behind me, but it was working that good, and I figured he'd probably crash me too, so you have to let him go.
Well, you have a win here from 2 weeks ago and a 4th place finish today. You are tied for the points with 1 race to go. I know the victory 2 weeks ago meant a lot to you. Obviously, the championship in this Winston Challenge would be another prestigious trophy to add to your mantle.
Yeah, that'd be neat to win that. It'd be nice.
You're a very soft-spoken man, Carl.
Well, what can you do? You know, you can't cry over spilled milk. I think the car worked great. I was real happy with it. Just towards the end there, it just got a little bit too tight, and I was having to let it drift up a little bit, and they just found a good time to nail you, so there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Thanks for your time. Good luck next time.
Well, thank you.
That's Carl Trimmer, 57 years old, tied for the points lead in the 1996-97 Winston Challenge, guys.
Let me see that hat. I'm sorry, there's Monroe walking back to the garage. That hat, Wide World of Maps, company out of Phoenix, they pay the award each week for the driver that gains the most positions. So, obviously wasn't Trimmer, but I don't know who would have done that today, but...
Carl ended up in 4th position. It was Biffle, Grosskreutz, Monroe, Trimmer, and Dennis Fetter, the top 5 here at Tucson Raceway Park.
Fifth place wasn't bad after that fiasco.
No, we'll take the 5th place. We just didn't have as good a car this week as we did the last time out here, but even though we got a better finish out of it, and the car was real loose, and I've just got to go to work on it some more. But I would like to thank a couple of my sponsors, if I could. Canyon Auto Sales and the Grub Steak Restaurant and Mid-City Auto Repair have been a great help for winter heat.
And you've got a few scars on here, though, from today.
Yeah, Greg got under me there when I was racing with Paul Banghart and got into my left side, and I was just kind of the sandwich in the meat going down the front straightaway. And when he did that, I just had to stay in the gas, or otherwise we'd all crashed.
Well, did you have the best view of that finish then?
Yeah, I was sitting back here hoping they'd take each other out and I could go on and win the thing, but I don't want to see people crash to win, but they put on a good show in front of me.
Okay, and you did too. Congratulations on a 5th place finish today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know, these guys keep talking about the Grub Steak. That's a restaurant here in Tucson. I got to say that we went, Bob and several of us went over there last week to have dinner at the Grub Steak, and you never believe, folks, you talk about a small world. Rusty Wallace's pilot, Bill Brooks, was in there.
Yep.
In the same restaurant in 2,000 miles from home. Both of us were in the same restaurant in Tucson, Arizona.
Who would have thunk it, huh?
That's exactly right.
Good place to eat, too. We had our names branded into the wood there in the restaurant.
Yes, we did.
Well, let's take a look at what else is coming up as far as the winter heat schedule is concerned. Well, before we do that, let's try to talk to Paul Banghart, Bill.
Okay, and I've got Paul, and obviously a sixth-place finish for you today.
Yeah, I'm real happy. You know, last week we came here, we didn't qualify well, messed up the car in the first of the race, you know, and came back. But I tell you what, today the crew did one heck of a job. The pit stop was, I think, had made Childress proud. They did a real good job, and we had a good day today.
And there was a lot of traffic out there. Your car looks like it's in pretty good shape.
It's not bad. I've had a lot of comments. Everybody didn't think that we ran this car. Thought this was a show car, but we had a good day. You know, I'd like to thank sponsors, Jiffy Lube, Wide World of Maps, and Family Auto Body. Keep this thing looking good. And I just, like to thank everybody involved in this deal because we had a good day.
Another strong finish for Paul Banghart.
Yes, indeed. He finished 5th here this afternoon. When we come back after the holidays, we will be on January 5th at 3 o'clock Eastern Time with another NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour event. The third and final race of the Winston Challenge will be on Sunday, January 12th at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And then the final race will be the Winston West opener on the 19th at 3 o'clock.
You think that race number 3 on January 12th will be a barn burner or what?
Oh, yeah.